Hello everybody. In this video, I'm going to walk you through 10 things you should absolutely never do when you are navigating a toxic family environment. These are lessons I wish I had learned much earlier in my own journey. I want to start by being very clear. I am not a mental health professional. I am simply someone who has lived through this experience firsthand and informed by the insights of experts who study family systems. Also keep in mind, toxic family systems exist on a spectrum. It is not a binary black and white situation. Depending on the severity of your family's toxicity, some of these points will apply more heavily than others. Let us begin. Number 10, never over-explain. The first thing you must stop doing is trying to explain your perspective to them. Toxic family members do not operate on a foundation of accountability. In a healthy family, conflicts occur, people sit down, discuss the issue, and move forward because everyone is willing to take responsibility. In a toxic system, the dynamic is entirely different. The rules in this system are not based on morality, fairness, or right and wrong. They are designed entirely around what makes the narcissist parent comfortable or what they can get away with. When you are assigned the role of the black sheep or the scapegoat, the narcissist has essentially given the rest of the family a green light to disrespect and abuse you. This reinforces your position at the bottom of the hierarchy. If you try to explain your side of the story, you are wasting your time and your emotional energy. They are not listening to understand. They are listening to find new ways to deflect. The narcissist parent might offer lip service or a superficial slap on the wrist to someone in the family who harmed you, but it is never intended to fix the problem. It is only meant to create an illusion of accountability. Your goal should not be to make them see your side, because they already do. Your goal is to declare your truth. State your point clearly, keep it short, and repeat it as many times as possible. If they try to bring up irrelevant past events to deflect, repeat your point. The key is to maintain your truth and not get pulled into emotional arguments. Number 9, never get emotional. Getting emotional in front of toxic people is essentially handing them the fuel they need to keep burning you. When you display pain, anger, or sadness, you are providing them with narcissistic supply. They know they have successfully harmed you, which is often their subconscious or conscious goal for the black sheep. When you get emotional, you also lose your clarity. It distracts you from your objectives and pushes you back into the cycle of over-explaining and pleading. You need to practice emotional detachment. When you remain calm and neutral, you become unpredictable. They cannot push your buttons if they do not know which ones are still active. When they try to dump their own negative energy onto you, perhaps because they had a bad day or feel insecure, and you do not react, that negative energy has nowhere to go. It rebounds back to them. They are trying to feel superior by making you feel lower. When you refuse to play that part, their ego remains damaged, and they are left to deal with their own dysfunction. By not reacting, you take back the power that they are trying so hard to steal from you. Number 8, never initiate physical confrontations. We must have a clear disclaimer here. Your safety is paramount. If you are in a situation where you are being physically assaulted, you must protect yourself. The key word here is must. Nobody has a right to physically abuse you. In fact, it is illegal in most places in the world. So you need to take action to protect yourself. Do not suffer in silence. When you are dealing with toxic family members, they are masters at pretending they are good people when third parties are involved. This is why you must involve authorities or other neutral parties if you are being harmed. If you have been physically assaulted or threatened, go to the police. Creating a record is a vital safety measure. It gives you a reference point should things escalate in the future. These families thrive on smear campaigns, painting you as the aggressor or the crazy one. If something happens and you have no documentation or report of the abuse, people will naturally believe the narrative they have been peddling. Never initiate a physical confrontation yourself, because that plays exactly into the smear campaign they have built. However, do not fear using the law to protect your boundaries. Telling them, "If you do this again, I am calling the police," is a powerful boundary. You should also consider getting into physical shape, not necessarily to fight, but to carry yourself with a level of confidence and resilience that deters people from messing with you in the first place. You are not wrong for seeking protection from those who are supposed to love you, but choose to harm you. Remember, you have a right to protect yourself. They do not have a right to physically abuse you. Exercise your rights within reason. If you are in a dangerous situation that could affect you or your children, make sure you strategize accordingly by seeking legal help in addition to involving the authorities. The key word here is strategy. Not many people have the luxury of walking away easily from a dangerous situation, hence the need to secretly prepare. But you should not suffer in silence. Make sure you seek help immediately and discreetly. Number 7, never having an exit plan. If you do not have an exit plan, you are a passenger in your own life, entirely at the mercy of your family's toxicity. Having an exit plan is the ultimate way to reclaim your destiny. This can be short-term or long-term. A short-term exit plan is for when you are forced to be in their presence, such as at a family gathering. If they start their usual toxic games, you need an escape ready. This might mean having a book to read, a game on your phone, or an independent means of transportation to leave the scene. The goal here is to immediately detach emotionally and physically. This reduces the impact of their toxic behavior. You are not obligated to sit there and be a target. Narcissistic people like to exploit others' vulnerabilities to look superior. Therefore, it is imperative to always be one step ahead of their immature games. A long-term exit plan is about how you will eventually extract yourself from the toxic system entirely. This involves building your own life, networking with people outside of your family circle, and working toward financial and emotional independence. It is unfortunate, but in many instances, toxic families will never help you reach your true potential, even if they have the capability to help. If you are the family black sheep or family scapegoat, they already view you as someone beneath them and incapable. That's why they constantly invalidate you. So do not heavily rely on them to help you reach your goals. It is not in their interest for you to shift your position in the family, as that would threaten the hierarchy set up by the head narcissist. By focusing on your education, your career, and building a supportive community of friends and professionals, you are slowly constructing your exit. It is also important to note that your toxic family members may have done positive things in the past, which can cause you to second-guess the warning signs. It is normal to feel this way. In fact, it is a sign of good character to look for the best in people. However, narcissists rely on this very trait to manipulate others. This manipulation often manifests through tactics such as breadcrumbing, intermittent reinforcement, and gaslighting. Number 6, never disclose your future plans. Never disclose your personal goals, your career aspirations, or your relationship plans to toxic family members. When you tell them your plans, you are handing them the weapons they will use to exploit or manipulate you. This might sound shocking, but it is true when dealing with narcissistic or toxic family members. I remember when I finally secured a great job after graduating college. I made the mistake of sharing the news to them because I thought I could finally gain some validation after the constant criticism. Instead, they turned it into an opportunity to take credit for my success. They arranged a celebration behind my back and invited people without consulting me, then framed it as a surprise celebration. But in reality, it was not a surprise because they had to tell me beforehand, so I did not arrange my own celebration. On the day of the supposed surprise celebration, the restaurant staff forgot to serve me my meal. That's right, I was the last one to eat, and I ate alone. This is the ridiculousness I had to deal with. You would think after that negative experience they would reflect on their actions. Not narcissistic family members. To them, you are only a tool to serve their needs. Their needs were met, mine were irrelevant. From then on, I learned to be vague. When you are vague, they cannot sabotage what they do not know. When you reach your personal milestones, let them be the last to know, or when it's too late for them to do anything. Also, depending on how toxic they are, you might even just need to ignore them. Sometimes it can be unavoidable, but you might still have the opportunity to impose your will by saying no to them when they encroach on your life, even if it will look bad to others. Your purpose in life is not to manage other people's emotions. Looking back, I should have canceled that celebration and made my own arrangements, even though it would have painted a bad picture for the family. I would have had a better experience considering the restaurant staff would probably have paid more attention to me than a narcissistic family member who needed to get their supply. Toxic families like to put the black sheep in awkward situations like this. It is crucial to be proactive when dealing with these individuals. The most important lesson learned here is to be extremely vague in issues relating to your personal goals, and to impose your will when they encroach on your personal life. It always never ends well by playing along, and they won't even care if you lose anything. These individuals only do things that benefit them. Keep that in mind before sharing personal information. Number 5. Never make long-term sacrifices. Toxic family members are experts at pressure. They will try to force you into decisions like where to go to school, what to study, who to date, or where to live. That only serves their interests. If you agree to these things, you are essentially letting them live your life for you. These are long-term, life-altering decisions. You do not want to wake up years later in a career you despise because you didn't want to stand up to your toxic parent. When they pressure you, you do not always need to shout a hard no, especially if that leads to an explosion. Use the "I will think about it" strategy. By deferring the decision, you keep the power in your own hands and stop them from getting an immediate reaction out of you. You can repeat this as many times as you need to. It keeps them guessing, it keeps you in control, and it prevents you from committing to things that are not aligned with your path. Remember, this is your life. The cycle of misery ends when you stop saying yes to things that hurt you just to keep someone else happy. Number 4, do not isolate yourself from the world. The ultimate goal of the scapegoat black sheep dynamic is to make you feel like you are the problem, which often leads to isolation. They want you to feel so ostracized within the family that you retreat entirely from the world. Do not let them succeed in this. While they may try to isolate you within the home, you must make every effort to engage with the real world outside of that toxic bubble. When you go to school or socialize with friends, do not carry that toxic black sheep label with you as your identity. It is a role they forced upon you, not who you actually are. You might feel timid or afraid to speak up because you have been conditioned to stay quiet or face humiliation for sharing your thoughts. Start small. Practice expressing your opinions and ideas in safe environments with people who are not your family. You will find that healthy people do not view your authenticity as a problem. By building connections outside of that system, you prove to yourself that your worth is not defined by how your family treats you. Number 3, never expose your friends or workmates to your toxic family. As I mentioned before, these people are committed to treating you as less than. When they meet your friends, they will likely behave in a way that reinforces this narrative about you. Or they will act in a way that makes your friends uncomfortable and have doubts about you. They might even try to poison your friend's perception of you through subtle comments or backhanded compliments. Unless your friends have experienced this specific type of dynamic, they will struggle to understand why your family is the way it is. Most people rely on societal norms that tell them family is everything. So, When they see your family treating you poorly, they might mistakenly assume you are the problem. It can be a source of deep embarrassment for you, and it opens the door for your family to meddle in your healthy relationships. The black sheep role is not a common experience, so do not expect your friends to understand things easily. If you are ever in an emergency where your friends need a contact point, that is the only reason to bridge that gap. Your friends knowing where you live or having a contact number of someone in the household can suffice, but do not allow them in your friendship circles. This also includes social media. Keep your private life away from their prying eyes. Number 2, never ignore your intuition. This is probably the best thing you can do when dealing with toxic family members. When you see a pattern of red flags, like signs of betrayal, favoritism, secret family discussions occurring behind your back, do not ignore them. Take action. Taking action means asking questions when things look suspicious. I remember my narcissistic father would ask me to leave the room when he wanted to talk to my older brother. This was after he had berated me in front of him. This created a situation where my older brother could weaponize the same arguments that my narcissistic father used against me, while also having the luxury of not having his weaknesses exposed. This was another tactic by the narcissistic donor to give my brother the upper hand while simultaneously reinforcing my position below him. Looking back, I could have handled things different. I could have rejected that request and demanded equal treatment. This could have opened up opportunities to dish out criticism to not only my toxic brother, but also the donor. Like, why would he let a couch potato manage my personal affairs while he was away, yet he couldn't even manage his own life? Keep in mind, I was a young adult in college at this point, yet I was being treated like a preteen. The key is to impose yourself and stick to the issue. They might gaslight you into believing something that serves their agenda, but you have to make life uncomfortable for them within reason. Be straightforward and persistent. Do not pretend like everything is fine when you feel neglected in your family. It is better for everyone to be uncomfortable, not just only you, especially since they are the source of these problems. Trust your intuition and fight for your rights. Number 1, never turn to substance abuse. This is perhaps the most critical point of all. Being the black sheep is incredibly painful, and it is a natural human reaction to want to escape that pain. Unfortunately, many people in this position fall into the trap of using drugs, alcohol, or other destructive habits to cope. But understand this: your toxic family is waiting for you to stumble. If you have been abused and you turn to substances, they will not see it as a cry for help or a response to trauma. They will use it as the final, absolute proof of their smear campaign. Do not give them that power. When you feel that immense internal pressure, reach for constructive outlets instead. Go to the gym, pick up a hobby, go to the library, or find a safe space to just breathe. Alcohol can cause your suppressed pain to explode in ways that damage your reputation and your future. Be hyper-aware of your reactions. You have been through enough. Do not let their toxicity lead you into a trap that could destroy your life. I hope these 10 points provide you with some clarity and strength. If you are living through this right now, please know that you are not broken. You are just in a situation that is designed to make you feel like you are. Always prioritize your safety, keep your plans to yourself, and remember that your identity is not what they say it is. If there is anything else you have experienced, or perhaps something you wish you had done differently, let me know in the comments section. We are all learning from each other's experiences here.